of departure, we all hope to go to heaven. We normally should. Every average citizen of the world will go to heaven. But there are different degrees of enjoyment of heaven, just like different housings in Cape Town. Some houses cheaper, some houses are more expensive, with more equipment, more comfort, swimming pool, etc., everything. Now, to the extent of our developed consciousness, to that extent we will enjoy heaven after we leave this physical world. That is, if we have trained ourselves sufficiently enough to ascend to heaven immediately after death, or else we would be sometimes hovering around for a while until we realize that we're really gone, that we have no longer a physical instrument to work with, that our speech will not be heard by our loved ones, and nothing we can do about it. Doesn't matter how much we complain, how much tantrum we throw, nobody understands nothing, nobody cares. And at that time, it's a great suffering for us. Also, we will be overwhelmed by the result of our thinking during our lifetime while in the physical body. During the time that we're living, if we keep thinking negatively, then when we die, that's what we get. So when we die without preparing, without meditation on positive power, without connection with God's power, the negative thinking that we have during a lifetime will overwhelm us and take us to unpleasant places. And that's why people say there is hell. We could also escape from that hell if we are conscious enough at that time to walk out of our own prison. But most of the time, we have not been prepared, so we're weak. We're not strong enough to do that. So we have to stay in that negative atmosphere for a while until it dies down. Now there's another kind of pressure for us even. Not just that, not just our own individual created negativity or pressure or atmosphere or sphere. We have also the collective created consequence of the people in this planet, as well as our relatives and friends, closer speaking. Because we have not mastered the art of mastering our own destiny, we have not learned to walk the correct way to heaven, we will be stray here and there, we will be pulled apart into different directions, or pushed into unpleasant scenery or planet, illusionary planet, which to us at that moment absolutely real. And that's how people say they enter hell and they suffer. But it must not be like that. It must not be like that. Even if you don't want to practice vegetarian compassion, even if you don't want to practice meditation with us, you should always tell yourself and remember that God is merciful. That is the only thought you should remember at the time of death. Then you will be clear enough to see that Jesus stands by, that heavens is opening the gate, that angels is greeting you with music of the celestial realm. You must remember something noble like that we are the sons and daughters of God, that we can never be anything lower than that, though nothing at all could harm us. This is the thought should be ingrained in your mind. Like this, you will not fear the angel of death, because he doesn't really exist. It exists because we created him, because we believe in him during our lifetime. So he manifests. Whatever you wish shall be given unto you. Knock and it shall be opened, ask and it shall be given. Because in this planet, sometimes we ask for something, it doesn't come immediately, so we think it doesn't work. It works all the time. Just because we are hindered by this physical body, we cannot see the result immediately. Sometimes the result comes a little bit later, and we think we forget. We forget that we have wanted it. We think that, oh, this is just luck, or this is just bad fortune, that these things happen to me. But nothing really happened without us wanting it in the first place. Also, of course, if we're not strong enough in our will, then the karma, the collective consciousness of negativity or positivity also affect us in daily life as well as the time of departure. In our daily life, we are more shielded by this physical ignorance. At least we do not know something bad's coming. But when we live this physical protection, we will see everything. Everything affects us immediately. If we die and the loved ones was crying and lingering and missing us so much, and they cry and they suffer, we will feel it exactly as if we are suffering. That's why during the time of the loved one's departure, maybe the best is that we should just pray for them to go to heaven and enjoy and be liberated, and not praying, crying and lamenting and missing them so much, because that will make them also feel very miserable and delay their departure to the higher dimension. Death should be celebrated, not mourned for, because that is our final liberation. Nothing can touch us anymore. Nothing can harm us. Nothing can cover us anymore. We will know everything. We will be into everything. We'll be anywhere as a fraction of seconds. We have everything that we wish for come true immediately. But in order to prepare for a higher reward than just this, we should learn the art of mastery of our own destiny, of our own future, create our own heaven, prepare our own future, and do not let the atmosphere of other people or the bad karma of other people influence us, because we are the master. We are the children of the ocean of love of God. We have dignity. We should walk like a God. We should act like a God. We should think like a God. It's not easy because we have forgotten how to do that. But it's only a habit. And habit can be trained, can be broken also with time. During our busy activities, of course, it is difficult for us to control our thought and to train ourselves again into the glory of how we are. That's why we have to choose a little time span during our busy schedule to be quietly alone with ourselves, with God. At that time, we can concentrate our power of thinking. Then we can correct the habit of our thought and make it positive. And day by day like this, we will become the son of heaven again, as it really is. That's why we should meditate every day, not just after initiation, because after initiation you're liberated already. You are a free man. You really are a free man. No one can touch you anymore. But in order to have a smoother life here and to enjoy heaven while we are still breathing, in order to remember, retrain ourselves into the Prince of Heaven, we must remind ourselves every day It's not even enough because we have been reminded time after time, long time, how bad we are. So now we have to remind us again how good we really are. And that's why it takes time. It takes everyday practice to remember this. You're not going to learn anything. You're just going to remember. Because there's nothing for you to learn. You are the King of Heaven. You're part of heaven, part of the whole universal power. There's nothing you cannot do. Just take time to remember it again. I'm here to help you to remember. And it's not as difficult as you think. It's easier than making a living. It's easier than driving a car. It's easier than sleep. So it would be to our benefit that we should try. Because it's so easy and simple. To some of us who could devote the whole heart and mind into regaining heaven, we can give you the whole instruction. And you meditate like 2-3 hours a day, or as much as you can. Like cut down a little of sleep, talk less on the phone, watch only important news on TV, and don't just sit there and watch whatever, n'importe quoi. So then you will have a lot of time. We will find that we have a lot more time to spare if we cut down many of the unnecessary activities that we used to do just to kill time. Now the time we don't have to kill, we use it to live. We use it to resurrect our soul. Then not only we feel good and bless ourselves, we will bless others as well. Habit is hard to break. We all know that. But it doesn't mean impossible. Before I couldn't drive a car. I just had license recently. And when I could drive the car, I feel, my God, I feel like a human being. I feel like everybody else in this planet. I was so proud. I want everybody to see that I'm driving. Because I trained myself. First time I failed. Second time I failed. Third time I succeeded. Even to learn driving, it takes so long. It takes effort, money, and concentration. I still can do it. Yes, still can do it. Many other things like learning English, even learning to walk. We were born crawling, not even crawling, lying, helpless. As a baby, we know how to try. We try to crawl, and then we try to stand up, and then we try to toddling around, and then we try to walk, and then we run, and then now we fly even. Everything is a process of learning. To a baby, it must have been impossible to see the adult running or riding bicycles or driving, jumping around, dancing. But to us, it's easy because we have tried, we have trained ourselves. Similarly, to go to heaven, we can train like that. It looks difficult at first, but it isn't. It is more difficult if we try ourselves, but it's not difficult if somebody else already know how and show us on-hand experience, on-hand teaching. It's very simple. That's why since ancient times, God has sent a lot of teachers to show us the way because we have forgotten. To show us the way doesn't mean that person is better than us. We call him or her teacher just because in the beginning he teach you something. So we call them teacher in this planet. If somebody teach you something, we call them teacher of English, or, professor of mathematics. for example. But in the order of heaven, there is no one lower, no one higher. Just someone who walked the way first and show the one who walks later. And someone who knows the way already show us is easier, is less stressful, and more sure and quicker. We could try to walk back to heaven ourselves, but then so many things we do not know on the road because we have forgotten, and sometimes it could be frightening. And that's why many people feel that they are not up to it, they're scared. But when you have somebody walking with you, holding hands and protect you and show you where the way to walk and where to avoid, then the road is more pleasant. You have companion. It's quicker, it's easier. So in short, I'm here in case you feel you want to remember again who you truly are. And there's no cost, no conditions. The so-called 5 precepts is not the 5 precepts. It is a measurement of your readiness. Yeah? For example, if we want to go to college, then a high school diploma is a must. Yeah? And a test before college is a must. To measure your standard of education, so to see for yourself and for the professor that whether you're ready or not for college. Similarly, the 5 precepts or the 10 commandments in the Bible is not a must for everybody. It's not a commandment for you to break or to keep. It is for you to measure your standard of development, spiritually speaking. Suppose you don't want to steal things from people, but you always like to give to the unfortunate. Suppose you don't ever want to tell lie because it's against your conscience, and you always tell the truth. That is not because you keep the precepts, it is because your standard of spiritual development is that high. So if you are required to follow the 5 precepts, like you don't tell lies, you don't kill even animals, and you don't take things from other people, etc., etc., or as you are recommended to take the vegetarian diet, it is just a remembering, it's just a memoir, it's just a reminding that, are you up to here yet? Are you here yet? You know this? Yeah, yeah. And if you agree to all this, for you it's easy, it's natural. That means you are there. You're ready. You're ready to enter sainthood. You're ready to remember yourself. And that's all about the 5 precepts, or the vegetarian diet, or the 10 commandments. It's not that God is dictative, or it's not that I am sitting here pointing finger and say, thou shalt not kill, thou must do this, do that. It's not that. These things, these rules has been passed down from heaven so that we can measure our standard of quality. Remember when Moses came down from the mountain, he handed these 10 commandments. He said it's from God. It is from God. So that we know where we are, where we stand. So it is not that you must follow me or else. It's not that. You don't even have to follow me. I just teach you once and you can remember all the time. You can do it alone. Unless you want to see me again or you're in doubt, then we will give you an ID card so that when you come, people recognize you and let you in, see me. Or you can write letter. But these are not always necessary for many people. Because every day you can meditate alone. After we give you instruction, then you know what to do. You be your own master every day. The difficulty is not following a master or any master. The difficulty is being your own master. Have a discipline to do what you have chosen to do. What you know is the best for your soul. So if we think that we are up to it, then we are welcome very much. During my speech, even if I haven't taught you anything, your soul will receive invisible instruction to yourself. So if you concentrate enough, if you simple inside enough, you see light already, see heavenly light already.